everyone, I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Amazon and saturation. Now there is a small part of me that's kind of thinking, more like screaming actually, why are we even doing this video? And I'm going to explain that a little bit later on. So firstly, saturation, what is it? So when people talk about saturation on Amazon, they mean it in two different ways, and they're never really clear about what way they mean. Only sometimes do they actually go into more detail about what they actually mean. So the first type of saturation that people talk about is there's too many sellers on Amazon. Full stop. Period. Too many sellers on Amazon. The other type of saturation they talk about is product saturation. So too many sellers selling the same product. Now, let's talk about the first one. Complete and utter nonsense is all I can say about that without using stronger words. Saturation on Amazon, as in too many Amazon sellers? Really? That's what people are going with to try and deter others from selling? Absolutely not. There is no way that there are too many sellers on Amazon. So with Amazon, some sellers use it for a period of time. So they say do Amazon for a couple of years and they move on to something else, because Amazon is a solid building block in an e-commerce journey, and you don't have to do it forever if you don't want to. So some people use Amazon just for a few years to build up an e-commerce business, get some money flowing in that helps release them from whatever job it is that they're doing. People come and go from Amazon. Okay, so that's firstly something to bear in mind. So not everyone who goes and sells on Amazon will stick with it. You also have to remember as well that there are lots of people that start Amazon that just give up because they've been sold on the idea that it is a get rich quick scheme, which just isn't true. It really isn't. I don't know who still is trying to pass Amazon off as that now, because there's so much information out there about it, but unfortunately if that's what you see first, it can kind of get locked in your head, and it's just not true. You can get rich from Amazon, but it's by no means a quick thing. The only way that anyone will ever make sort of instant super money is by winning the lottery, let's be real. So people will just give up at the first hurdle because of things like that. Also just due to a lack of education. So people will just say, yep, sell on Amazon, and leave it as simple as that. Then they'll hop on and discover things like ungating and just the initial sign up process, and having to provide proof of who you are and things like that, and some of the time that takes. People will give up at these hurdles because perseverance isn't a lesson that you can learn just by giving up. So there's people that will just go ahead and give up. But the people that do see it through, there is plenty of room for everyone. I don't know why people think that there isn't, or try to pass off like there isn't. If there was an issue with how many people can be on the Amazon selling platform, trust me, Amazon would put a restriction in place. They would have a list. They would have a number of sellers on there, and if you couldn't make it, they'll probably put you on a waiting list or something like that. They would limit it if there were going to be too many sellers. Okay, Amazon need sellers. If you take away third-party sellers, Amazon's overall inventory will significantly shrink. There's so many items that only third-party sellers can provide. And when Amazon run out of stock of certain things, they are relying on third-party sellers to make that stuff still available on the Amazon platform. So they need sellers. Let's face it, they do. They need sellers. So too many sellers on the Amazon platform? Again, absolute nonsense. There's no such thing as saturation in that sense. Let's talk about saturation in the other sense. So too many sellers selling the same product. Now, there are only two instances where this is true. And the first one is just by pure luck, on a luck basis. It just so happens that so many sellers have happened to found the exact same item for the exact same price, and they've all hopped on it, or it meets all of their criterias, their own personal criterias, and they've all just happened to hop on. Now this is something that you really won't find happens very, 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 very often at all, because availability is different for everyone. Like, for example, if you've got a load of sellers doing retail arbitrage, which loads of people do, they will limit themselves to the stores that are in their area mostly. I mean, that's the most feasible way, really, if you are just going to the stores that are in your area. So people that are doing retail arbitrage, they're limited by factors like that. People that are doing online arbitrage, they might not all be looking at the same websites. Some people might have special deals going on with the store, with the brand or whatever. So, you know, the availability differs for everyone, and also how things actually work out. So, for example, if someone's got like an exclusive store discount or something like that, and they use that can turn lots of things into deals, and there'll be others that don't have something like that, so therefore that same product won't be a deal for them. There's people that will turn stuff down if it only makes them, say, £2 profit or $2 profit, and there's people that will actually hop on things like that because that meets their criteria. Some people have got higher profit targets. Some people have got lower profit targets. Some people have got different sales targets and things like that, than things that they will turn down if it's under a certain amount. So you have to bear that sort of thing in mind. It differs for every seller. A beginner seller's targets will be different for an advanced seller's targets. So finding saturation naturally, the chances of that are very, very, very small. I would say there's probably like a 1% chance that you will find that being the case. The other instance where you can find saturation, and this is probably the more likely one when it does exist, when it does occur, is badly managed deal leads groups. Okay? I don't understand how this hasn't been rooted out as the cause of this myth, as to why people say it. Managed deal leads groups are where saturation can occur. Now, let me give you this example. So let's say we have a Discord group for Amazon sellers, and they have a deal lead section. And let's say they have 500 members. If it's a free deal leads thing and they're not limiting the number on the people that are getting those leads, and they'll just drop a deal in the laps of, say, 500 sets of eyes, and then you've got loads of people looking at it. Some of them will be smart enough to go, hey, loads of people are probably going to hop on this because of what's just happened. Some people will be like, oh, well, this doesn't meet my own personal criteria, so I'll turn it down. But you can be damn sure that enough people will be hopping on the opportunity because they aren't thinking like that. So when they're managed like that, that's where you can find saturation on some items. It will kill these items off, so that lead no longer becomes a lead. If you're in a group like that, I'd advise that you just steer clear of the deal lead section of it. Just use it for the help or the advice, whatever it is that it's giving. Or better yet, join another Discord group where the deal leads are managed more effectively, where they do have a restriction on the amount of people that they are exposing that lead to. You just need to avoid things like that. So you might feel like, wow, here's a solid lead. Yes, it's a solid lead, but not for very much longer, because, as I say, if it's dropped in front of so many people, it will just kill the item. And I know plenty of sellers that have been sort of on the victim side of this, where they've had a good item going, it gets unveiled in a badly managed deal leads group, and then that product is ruined. So I think this is basically where the saturation myth comes from, and it's only true in those circumstances. But overall, ultimately, no. You could have loads of sellers that are looking at the same store, but the chances of people choosing the exact same item are a lot smaller than you would have previously conceived. It really is, because every seller is so different with what it is that they're looking for, what it is that they're interested in, and they've got different criteria as well. And also there's different skill levels as well. So some people will be able to like clock a certain deal, and others might look at that same product and be like, nah. So there's also a skill aspect as well. So in terms of saturation, that's really the only cases when it exists. In terms of too many sellers, nope, absolutely not. Natural saturation, there's probably like a 1% chance of that. Saturation caused by deal leads groups, yes, that can happen. So yeah, Hopefully that's made you feel a lot better. If that's something that's been itching away at you in the back of your head, hopefully this has helped to reassure you. Ignore it, carry on doing what you're doing, and I guarantee you'll hardly ever bump into something like that. Thank you for watching. Have a great day or night, and I'll catch you very soon.